but I hope saizi usiwai feel like you need to explain to anybody. Imagine if them
your school niambia
tukae
I remember you know your story.
Say if you need
to so like you kitu liko na nisumbua for real. Like but then since then like I think sometimes I talk to you because we be in the same niche, so I'll tell her like I'm feeling low because of this. But then even as she didn't get, I think it was like you're overreacting though, like.
But if you need to stay for however long.
I know, like I don't even know how we'll function when we are not staying together. If we ever have to do. I don't want to get married right now. Though I want to enjoy this thing together. Marriage is a bit of a career. So that sometimes I think it gets heavy on me sometimes. How much? Are you recording? Oh shit. Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I'm homeless.
Okay, but let's see funny.
You people need to find him.
See funny. Okay, who's gonna say we're homeless?
First of all, I'm not homeless. First of all, I'm genuinely not homeless. Honestly, I'm not. I'm not homeless. It's just that. Listen, I'm just that people will understand so much from this video, but before this, they understood things. Anyway, they might understand things the way they want to. We really don't care. We're just doing this for ourselves.
You're crazy.
The more we speak about my mental health, I worry about you guys. Anyway, okay, I'm in Turkana. This is a story I need to give at some point.
Yes, please.
When Kitty asks me about bad choices, differently, not today. So I left Turkana, the contract ended. Me, I have a problem living. Now, if you ask Kitty my problem, living people, living things, woo! Maybe I think someone will break me 10 times and I'm there saying, the Lord is my shepherd. Until you kill me and I'm dead and I'm like, I'm actually dying. Like, I hold on to the last minute, but let me tell you the truth. Even let it go. Even the wildens, babes, you know, so basically Turkana. But then it became a bit hard because I was used to being self-sufficient. Then things got tricky, so I called Kitty. Was like, hey babe, it's going like this, like this, like this. Kitty was like, come home the first time. You don't listen. Came home, then went back. Kitty was like, babe, Rudy, come home. I asked her, where do I start when I come home? My kid is staying with my mom, right? I closed down my Nairobi house. What do you have in Nairobi that will make me come back? What do you want to do? Did you have mabwana, mapenzi, watoto? Okay, I will come back for my kids. But there's no way I'm living in Joki's house. Joki's my mother. Nah. Joki would keep me out to do this because I'm not waking up in the morning. Like every time I go to my mom's, I'm not preparing my kid for school in the morning. I always tell my mom, you really love your granddaughter so. Anyway, I'm the first one. I have 3 sisters. There's no way I'm waking up. Never. I see first was to talk about cheerleader for a long time. So I came back. It got really hard. So I called Kitty. Home. So I came home. Now you should have seen me come back home. I came with a suitcase to Kitty's house. It was my birthday weekend. I'm told tukapika chana wiki ngapi?
3.
You see, Modoni tried to kill me on my birthday, by the way, just so you know. That week was not healthy. Come to think of it, anything you might have seen online, that was not me. After 3 weeks, I told Kitty I'm homeless, which was true then. Then it was true. Then it was true. I was like, Kitty, I have a suitcase in your house. I'm homeless and I have to close down the because we sat down. Me and Kitty talk a lot. Me and Kitty can talk 24 hours a day, every day, and have something different. So I told Kitty, I need to make a decision. Do I go back to Lodwar or do I stay? She was like, stay home. I told me it won't go wrong. I asked her, why do I stay? Stay with me. I asked Kitty, won't you get tired? I was worried. I'm still worried. I'm still worried sometimes. I overthink. Not that you'll get tired. I overthink. It's me. That's why. Hey. So mimi nikahamia kwa moto. Nika nikafunga nyumba ya Lodwar. Hata sikuna kwa mama yangu. Wala baba yangu ajini nilibeba vitu. Kina massive. West to Compose. I became homeful from being homeless. No. This story of being homeless is funny for one reason. I don't think in this house we ever had a problem of staying together because we are 3 different people. We have an introvert, we have an ambivert. I don't know what I am yet. Ambivert is introvert. I hope I am saying it right. If it's wrong, I have to correct. English is my third language. I'm not trying.
I think we are in ambivert.
That's the thing. I like staying in the house more than anything, but then I like my own company. Tuweza kwa nyumba mimi nimekaa kwa kitanda nasoma kitabu.
Imagine
like a whole day, and I won't even come in this. I'm reading a book. But then it was, I think we have the most beautiful syncing of living together. The other day I was telling you about how I think of moving, and she looked at me like this in the kitchen.
Moving where?
I'm not moving. It was a conversation somewhere.
Wow.
And yeah.
You didn't let me know?
No, it was just a kitchen where we were cooking. No, I'm not moving. It was just a conversation.
I'm just saying I'm your landlord. You need to give me notice. I'm under
You're the host.
I'm the landlord. Utanipe notice to stay.
You're not moving. So she looked at me and was like, Tumezoya, we've become such a synced people. Like everybody has their thing, and it's beautiful the way it is. But then a month and a half ago, someone made a very difficult comment that we never talked about, and I refused to tell QT who made that comment.
You still need to tell me.
QT is murderous when she's angry.
By the way, utaniambia ni nani?
And someone said in the middle, like, people don't get this. If you're depressed once, depression is not something you can rub off, just so you know. So I might have talked about this, but let me say it. I had clinical depression. I have ADHD. It's an attention deficiency. Like me, I'm hyper. I don't concentrate. Like having me for 2 minutes is a long time. I am never there. I have PTSD, and then I have the most important one, anxiety. Where? Mimi uko anxious. Movie. Ukiniona time ya movie na kwanga nikikufa roho wakati.
Natupa stress.
That's just me. So my people are used to it. Then now you can imagine. What's my name? ADHD. What's my name? Like I swear to God,
someone made a comment.
Oh yeah, that is shit. So anyway, someone made a comment, and then that comment triggered my overthinking heavily. So it was made on a day we had an event, and it was so strenuous. We came home and like that event was so strenuous. The organizing, the doing it, QT was working. I had a project I don't even remember what. We were tired. So I didn't tell QT because I didn't want to pressure her. Then a week later, it was really killing me. So one morning I was in bed and I texted her. In the same house, I texted her. I was like, do you feel like I'm overstaying in your house? And QT snapped. Hasn't me just asked Yanni. She did a paragraph, explanations. No, she came to the sitting room. I told her if I come there, I'm gonna cry. So I came and sat on the other seat, and I cried in that morning, and she got so pissed. But then what made me realize that situation was wrong is because I was worried so much about what people are saying about me staying with QT that it was affecting how I feel being in the house. But then I love being in the house. Like, I have insomnia. The only place I can sleep anywhere, me nyumba, kitty, carpet, yani nitalala. But then I struggle so much that I go anywhere else, even in my comfort zones, I don't sleep. So at the end of the day, I decided I came from being homeless to being very homeful.
But I hope saizi usiwai feel like you need to explain to anybody. Imagine if them
hiyo school niambia hivyo
tukae
niambia hiyo story
stay if you need
to so like hiyo kitu ilikuwa inanisumbua for real. Like but then since then, like I think sometimes I talk to you because we be in the same niche, so I'll tell her like I'm feeling low because of this. But then even as she didn't get, I think it was like you're overreacting though, like. But if you need to stay for however long, I know, like I don't even know how we'll function when we are not staying together. If we ever have to do, I don't want to get married right now. Though I want to enjoy this thing together. Marriage is a bit of a. This is gonna be so raw. I mean, this will be the rawest video. But because sometimes it gets like I come from a place of not deep. You see, people don't get it, and I think people really will never understand it unless you understand me. I left my parents' home at 13. I have always been shielded. Then I got out of the shield. I'm like, I want to do my own thing. So when I decided to do my own thing, I said I don't want to depend on nobody. I would rather die than. Then I'm here like I depend on you heavily for some things. So I don't want to do what I should have kuambia vitu. Then I couldn't go anywhere because I didn't have fare. I didn't like it. I had a serious meeting. Like I have those problems because say I'm not permanently employed. I'm freelancing everywhere, including in people's relationships. I'm just freelancing. But I love how you're a hustler. Udemi hustler. Wacheni waniambia kuna siku you need witness. You're a hustler. Kuna siku kuna need do in I think an hour. Cutie was so stressed. Akosho nikambe Cutie mudho. As long as my name is Annitah, hiyo do unapata. Why? Elikam. Anya mimi naruto one side. Hustler one side. Now see you. No, I think it's because nachikaga vibaya sana. Let me tell you something. This should be a different video. It's not about the stupid things I've done for money and not for money and to survive. You've ever found yourself alone in a point where you really, other than God, and I mean other than God, there's nothing about that. So you have to trust. I told you, me when I'm really worked up, move a ground, I'm a good time. I feel the cold, and then I feel like the Lord is speaking to me. That's weird, but you work for me. Are you done laughing? Are you done laughing? Wow, like wow.
Okay.
Like, yeah! It's mental, it's not physical, it's mental. So Union needs to get out of this video. She's laughing inside. Point is, you have to understand that you is all you have. No, it's the same as
I know though what you're saying.
You close your eyes and it's all like it's solid, it's void. That's all you have.
Yeah, it's true.
Like people expect superpowers, lightning,
in the middle of the night,
angels. There's nothing. The only thing QT you always have is you. Your strength, your weakness is you. So at the end of the day, when I hit Apple, Annitah Raey is not a brand for me. Annitah Raey is a name I created for myself to get away from my real name. So I created Annitah Raey.
That's a story for another. You need to
I made Annitah Raey. Annitah Raey has no allegiance, doesn't owe anybody anything, and Annitah Raey is by blood and sweat. So at the end of the day, Annitah Raey has nobody other than Annitah Raey. So when I think about that, and then have you seen my son and my daughter?
Hallelujah. We can record a whole day.
We talk a whole day.
Sindio?
We need, but they actually,
so
I think if someone is really sane enough, they would invest in us for a reality show.
Right?
Like we don't have men moving around in the house and shit, so we don't have nothing to hide, you know. Like
we only have Roman, Jasmine, babies going around.
Actually, seriously, we could do a reality show for that.
Sindio?
That one is I improved so much.
Keeping up with who?
Keeping up with sanity. Like just because we're really not saying, just keeping up with sanity. We can put names. It would ruin our career. Imagine after you keeping up with Annitah. Man.
That's Annitah for you, by the way. She's always crazy. But anyway, when we're wrapping up this, nataka sasa uongelele.
Acha tengeneza hapa tujue ananiambia brangu nataka andika watu habari. Anyway, just up. Nimepole.
You made it worse.
Annitah?
Hai imetoka mmejua na bra. Pole ni navaga bra.
By the way, sawa. It's okay.
Oh, imetoka. Okay, bra, inataka kuonekana kwa kamera. Mimi I can't do it. Ni over do no. Nimedokile. Nicheka.
Si bora atuoni the actual thing. Just
me harasiji. By the way, it's fine. It's okay. So, nataka utuambie life lessons. Vitu kwanza zenye ulidu before zenye wezi do saizi like enye you've grown. Annitah, you've really grown. Nataka uongelele hiyo like the emotional part of you going through that. What would growth when you grow?
Ndio nasema nifanye hivi watu wanaweza hakuna kitu wanaona hapa. Dick by save life. Okay, the emotional growth focus.
By the way, mtatusamehea. We're doing this raw and we don't care.
Listen. I've grown. I am 32. The other day, Sima told me that it was young. And then she told me, you're young with 2 lifetimes of experience. That was deep. I am young with 2 lifetimes of experience. I have lived and I've lived. Like if I died today, God forbid. If I died today, you people should never mourn me. You should celebrate me. I have lived. My bucket list is done. Nimebakisha tu actually kukatiwa na kukatiwa nimekatiwa kuolewa na celebrity.
Wow. Like nani? Bana boy?
Conscience.
Oh, sorry.
That's the only crush I have.
You need big boy and shy.
I need big boy and shy. Point is, I have had. You know, I always give the sad part of my story because that's what impacted me the most. But then the other day when we were chilling, I realized I have crazy funny stories from the fun part of it, because the growing up, the being on the streets, believe me, it was not all that bad. Oh, it was not all that bad. There is this time, there was a chick, I won't say her name, I hope God she doesn't watch this. She took me kwa babu mlango, like babu mchawi. I can't tell you.
What you learn happy? Is it poster to
I was 15.
Baby, is it poster to nonangatao?
And the girl was a driver wa number 9. Why are we going kwa babu to a driver wa number 9 surely? And then we're there. And then guess what? It backfired. Guess who got slapped?
Hey, Annitah.
Zuba in there like an idiot laughing. What was even funny though?
Ulimpeleka. Alikuwa anataka kunini?
Hapa na nyuma.
Okay, so ni real.
Oh.
Poster sio fake.
Oh, the posters are real, the babu is fake.
Unaona tu poster sijui enda wapi.
Alimwambia tumpulizia poda hivi. Hiyo ngamia naenda kupuliza na nimesimama hapo. What the hell is wrong with human beings? So, I'm saying that she didn't even tell me. Man say 15 was not good for me. I need to redo my. No wonder I am childish. 15 really needs to be repeated.
Ulipeleka kwa babu at 15. Na ukapigwa kofi.
Manzi msema nipiga kofi nikaona stars.
Would you get over?
I will never get over that shit. Manzi msema ni slap. And then I was so shocked. I was like, mbona nipiga? Like, didn't even know.
Ara make kwa real. So mkatoka.
That was not even funny. When I was 15, when I first went to the streets, I was like 13. So 14, I met this guy. He was a makanga at number 6. Believe you me, I've seen it all. The only thing I used to fear was sex. Everything else was, we can go to it. And this guy was called Uncle. Guy.
Uncle, I hope you're watching.
I hope he's not. Nigga has a girlfriend, doesn't tell me. Nigga is there smoking weed with me on a daily.
You started smoking weed at what?
I think it was 12. No, I have been. I'm experienced. Like
History tutabonga sister.
So this kono doesn't even tell me he has a girlfriend. No, me we are smoking weed nikapigwa buti na msichana ya uso. Hiyo kegwe Hana. Me I've seen it all. Oh, my name is Hana. Me
she's called Hana Gashau.
Gaduru is my father. Yeye pigwa buti surely. People dem alikuwa mzito though. Like it was not even nice. See vita healthy, see vita na zapigana sai.
Easy life lessons in Ngori baby.
You know, I think the funniest one was one time there's a guy, I can't say his name though. That's his real name. He really
but you allowed to say him.
No, he really like. You were asking?
Like going back, what wouldn't you do? Like you feel like saizi young and stupid. When I get like young and stupid, nini wezi go back to, like you're just like that one I can't do.
Cutie.
Would you quit on social media? Okay, quit job would turn to run to social media.
Oh, let me tell you something. If I quit my job right now, I would make my boss famous. They deserve it.
Okay.
Yeah. If I quit on good terms, I wouldn't. I didn't make someone famous because I quit my job. I made someone famous because they thought they could mess with me quitting my job. You get? Quitting a job is normal. Like I had worked for so many places. It was how you
but
get
you've grown, man.
I've grown. Right now, I wouldn't. Okay, how much have I grown? I would still mind it's hilarious. What else would I do? I would not steal someone's shoes. That's really pathetic. Point is, I would never change anything about my life. And if I was to redo a lot of things in my life, I would want to do them grown up. It looks more fun. I have lived a good life, Kitty. I've lived a good life.
Emotionally, financially, mentally.
Financially, I would invest. God, I was so stupid when I was young. Jesus Christ. I was
we are all young and stupid.
So stupid when I was young. Like, I made a lot of money and I made a lot of money. But then I never did anything sensible. If you consider traveling sensible, it's actually I don't regret it. I just wish
traveling
I saved.
is amazing.
Yeah, I wish I saved, but then I don't regret not saving because then I've grown. Like right now, if you give me 3 million Kenyan shillings, the same way I got it like a year ago, I will not be perplexed. I'll think like, I want to do this. Like if you give me 3 million, I have like 3 projects that need it. So it's already budgeted for. I just need it to come. So I would ask everybody, please be young and stupid, but save at some point though. It comes in handy. Physically, I've grown bigger.
Emotionally,
let me tell you something. This is something Cutie really will not want me to say on camera. Nimeacha kuchipa watu kwa bar.
Only on this channel you can hear
Let me tell you
that.
something.
By the way, we need to talk about that. Who you dame?
Mimi nilikuwa naona kijana na tattoo hata Cutie asema usiku mzima mimi niko pale I'm like
I'm taking you home with me.
So she's like, babe, it's not worth it you'll trend. I'm like, I trend anyway.
Nilikuwa nashinda nikimwambia hivyo. But nowadays, oh my God.
I've gotten to a point where, for me, physical intimacy has to be really important for me. Like, you know, Kitambo used to say sex is everything. Man, it's nothing. God, it's nothing.
And it's ina happen.
That is not a good place to be. Actually, I'm with 40 changes.
Hey, life begins at 40.
Okay, I'm glad. I hope
life
I go back
begins
to
at 40.
Nimemiss kuchota watu kidogo na flex.
No, we are not going back to that.
Unachota watu wana adabu.
We are not doing that anymore.
Amekataa. Point is, Kitambo used to be like, I never wanted any like long-term thing. I didn't want you to call me in the morning. I didn't want attachments. Hey! Mimi wacha niwaambie sipendi attachments. Like nowadays I'm craving them. I want them
like a serious relationship.
That's the thing. Imagine I want a, that is the most weird thing. Of all the people I want a serious relationship.
Imagine hawajui unataka serious relationship. Bwana kwa nyumba umpikie breakfast in bed.
They don't deserve me though. But someone might deserve me. Point is, the one thing emotionally I've changed is that I rarely like want to connect to people. Mazisi ndio tukitia kwa worry like babe angalia watu wengine na watu like sitaki kitambo. Yes,
you grow by the way you've grown.
There's a guy so he I looked at him at Quiver. Let me say that I looked at Quiver iko na vijana wadogo wanaweza kuchanganya. Yes baba. I looked at that boy for like 30 minutes and then it's not worth it. The emotional time I put in you, they're trying to take you home,
if that
bro, what an kalele.
Be emotionally may grow in terms of uja kwa hizo episodes like
no, I've not honestly I lost someone very close in April and that was my worst fear of losing that person. Then I lost that person. And I really that honestly it affected me, but then it didn't take me down.
But I hope you understand that's what I don't want to go through.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Actually funny enough, that gave me a better understanding that I never want anybody to feel what I felt at all because that person committed suicide. So if how I'm feeling up to date is how anybody would have felt, they don't deserve it. And I'm loved. Emotionally, I've grown enough to understand that I am me, that won't change, and I don't want to change it. I'm arrogant. I don't like people. People are tiring. Like human beings should disappear. We deserve aliens, but then life happens. We can change it. Yeah. So the thing is, I have grown enough to hold mental conversations with myself and not break. That's the thing. I have not had an episode. I don't get depressed much. I just cry once in a while when I'm drunk though. I think it's alcohol.
It's normal.
It's normal. I mean, I cry anyway. Yeah. And then people should take this to the bank. I don't fight. Ha!
Yeah, you don't. To make a child.
I don't get angry and I don't fight. If people knew the amount of emotional strength and power it takes me not to kill people and fight, they will never.
And she can literally do it by the way.
Oh, I can fight. Oh, don't try me. Oh, I can fight. I know I can.
That's
but then the fact that mtu nitukana anatembea, kai Yesu, Mungu nipatie VIP na wifi.
Umegrow.
Kai,
I'm so proud of you. Umegrow.
Thank you.
Na charger.
Nasema kwa binguni nikienda Mungu anafanya. Sasa ni kwa VIP binguni. Sipigane haki. Kai.
So, tunangojea nini kutoka kwa Anitah in future? What nini
a husband, 2 more boys. Okay, what else? What are you saying? Oh, no, seriously, I want a husband and 2 more kids, 2 boys.
Wow.
Si basi useme qualifications za mtu hapa.
Qualifications of husband. 1, if actually let me tell you, I don't know if qualifications, but if someone can deal with my overthinking, which I mean is pricelessly anxiety. I will be in the middle of driving with the husband and be like, no, can you just nafanya nini? And then I leave you for that. I would. That's 100% me. And I overthink about manze amget. Jana nilikuwa katikati ya sherehe na dance. Nikafikiria kupiga mtu hedi out of the blues.
Ati kwanza unafaa kumpiga
hapa. Yani I overthink. Qualifications of 1, you really have to be 6 feet. I can't do anybody who's shorter than me. Napenda kuhug watu sana. And you have to be open-minded.
They give good hugs. They say.
I love hugging. Hugging is the closest way you can tell someone they matter. I'm never hugging you just that's what I'm Kaivo, sister, go there. Anyway, point is there's no qualifications. Just be my person. Unajua, maybe I have a problem. I like one person one day, like the one that I spend the rest of my life explaining why I like them. But my person nimempata. Yes, when Georgina amepata Roman. Oh, that is so sweet. Anyway, that's off camera. So anyway, I want where are you gonna see Anitah? I have so many plans. That's 100% sure.
Projects.
I have so many projects. That's 200% sure. But then I don't want to talk about it because I want to surprise you people. Will I get back on the microphone? I belong on the microphone.
Yeah, that's
actually I thrive most behind the microphone.
Na this time round unafanya nini ukirudi kwa microphone?
Wacheni niwaambie na hii document nikirudi kwa mic siwajui, siwapendi, siwataki. I don't know you. If I don't know you right now when I am not anybody on media, take it to any bank near you and bank it. I don't know you. Ila siku hiyo mic because inawaka so nitawaka. Siwajui. Because at the end of the day you and Anitah want a favor nitawatumia venye mnanitumianga. I will use it.
Pesa, we just want money.
Last.
Hey, na.
Everybody got your breakfast.
I don't know what she sings, but hey, you're such a vibe. We're doing this. By the way, we need Anita, even if you need me on your channel, we need to revive your channel.
Yes,
even
we will.
if nataka ufanye podcast, I can't wait for you to go back.
But this goes live on your social media for the first time. I'm bringing back my podcast. That's in like a week and a half.
Yay!
And my YouTube is coming back in 2 weeks. 100%.
If you need me to come to your YouTube, then we come, we do this.
Definitely. You can call it this shit. My YouTube, you can cast.
But we are creating more content too.
Definitely. Big up Georgina. Thank you so much for Georgina and a sugar baby like
like a scarfy.
I know. I don't want to say a fan and anybody. Thank you, Georgina, for the good vibes. This is Cutie's channel. I always say Cutie is bigger than she's ever thought. She'll always be bigger than she'll ever think. Never forget that. When a girl to represent you big.
Oh, thank you guys. Yani, it's been amazing. By the way, to make cut content, like tumesema tu, we are done for today. To need coach game. Manchester United versus Arsenal is coming through. Someone needs to come on this channel right now. Anajijua. Let's do this.
Anakata content, mimi nakata maji.
Imagine hiyo ni simu ya Magda. Imagine hiyo ni simu ya Magda, tulimwambia ke silent. Hata ana adabu.
Oh shit, Freddy amefika.